My name is, in Gaelic, the native language of my country, William Og Kitach Machgawi, which in English is William MacDonald Jr., who is left-handed.
And basically, why do you wear a kilt?
This particular one I'm wearing because it's a part of my work dress to wear in the business that I work for at the moment. Normally, if I'm wearing traditional dress, I don't wear the kilt as such. I wear something which is even older. The kilt dates from 1720s and is a work garment. It's very comfortable, it's very cool in warm weather, and it's warm in cold weather. What I would normally wear is what's known as the philomore, which is the great wrap. You see the pleats in the kilt at the back? Right. With a philomore, they're not sewn in. You pleat them yourself, and you can adjust the depth of the pleats, alters the temperature of the garment. The deeper the pleats, the warmer it is. The shallower the pleats, the cooler it is.
So you have different kinds of kilts.
This kilt here is simply a kilt. It's known as a philabek, which means a small wrap. It is based on the philomore, which is the great wrap. The great wrap is just one big long piece of cloth, roughly 5 metres or more long, 5 metres or more, and about 1.5 metres wide. And that is folded into the philomore. The philabek, which is the kilt, is a philomore which has been cut down and sewn in place. All the pleats are sewn in, and the belt itself, not this one, but the belts underneath this, and the little belts that hold it together are sewn in, unlike the philomore, which is a free piece of cloth which you fold yourself. Okay. It's older. The philomore is a Renaissance garment. It dates from the 1590s. So neither of them are ancient.
And I see yours is basically green and blue, so yes. Are there any meanings to the colours?
Yes, the colours in this is the government tartan. It's a military tartan, also known as the Black Watch tartan. Right? It's not a tartan I like, because my clan were generally at war with the government, but for work purposes I have to wear it. It's the Black Watch tartan, which is the regimental tartan which was prescribed by the government in the 1740s. Now this particular type of colour is used because it's camouflage. It's dark green, it's dark blue, it's camouflage. If you wanted to be seen, for example, in some of the clans, the clan regiments, not the government regiments, the clan regiments, the officers would tend to wear bright tartans, like based on red, so that you would see them clearly. There is no such thing as a clan tartan. That is a myth.
Okay, and so do you have a family tradition?
Yes, I'm a MacDonald. The MacDonald, the name means son of, or children of, son of the world ruler. A clan of Chain, which is the children of Con of the 100 Battles. It's the largest clan, it's one of the most ancient clans. It's the largest clan in Scotland, and it was the protector of Gaelic culture in Scotland. There is an expression which says there is no joy without Clan Donald, because the Clan Donald protected Celtic Gaelic culture. In fact, we had our own parliament which represented the Gaels, the Celts of the Western Isles, the Western Highlands and part of Northern Ireland.
Okay, and how old were you when you got your first kilt?
I first wore a kilt probably when I was about, probably about 7 years old. I first wore a kilt, but then I didn't wear a kilt for many years after that. It used to be the case that people in Scotland were made so ashamed of their national dress that it would be mocked. Unless you were a soldier, it would be mocked if you'd be made a fool of if you wore a kilt in the street. Nowadays, thankfully, we have a great deal more pride in our culture, and wearing the kilt and indeed the philomore, which is older, wearing the kilt or the philomore is much more common.
When did it change?
The attitude of the people changed, I would say, roughly in the late 1970s, when the Scottish people became more politically aware of their own national heritage.
Yeah. Normally I only see men wearing kilts. What about women?
Women wear kilted skirts. You'll see from this that the kilt I'm wearing, as with the philomore, the the end of the apron, the edge of the apron, is on my right-hand side. With a woman's kilted skirt, it's on the left-hand side, right? Now, women's skirts were traditionally longer than the kilt length, but more traditional than that is the garment called the arasage, and the arasage is the female equivalent to the philomore, and that is a piece of cloth roughly 3 to 4 metres long and 1.5 metres wide, which is folded along the length of the material to create a gown, a pleated gown, which is worn over a skirt and a petticoat, and that is the traditional dress for the woman, in the historical dress for the woman in the Highlands, at least, the Highlands of Scotland. That's the arasage.
Okay, so thank you. And is there anything you want to add?
Yes, I think maybe I should add that the reason why I am not wearing any underwear is because it is traditionally seen as unhygienic to wear anything under the kilt. Same with the women's arasage and the same with the philomore. It's unhygienic to wear it. It's far too warm. You can alter the temperature of the garment by the length of it or by the depth of the pleats, and you don't need to wear anything underneath it. And it's in battle, the warriors would, if it was warm weather in a battle, the warriors would take off their philomore or their kilts and would just charge the enemy in their shirts. But with nothing on underneath, it was quite a frightening prospect for the enemy to see all those hundreds of Highlanders running at them with nothing on underneath their shirts. But what we used to do was the shirts, the traditional shirts that were worn, it was called the lena, and it would be tied from the back to the front, underneath the legs. Between the legs, it would be tied and in a bow at the front, and that protected the main arteries. So it looked like hundreds of babies with diapers or nappies on, right? So if you can imagine hundreds of hairy Highlanders with beards and big swords wearing what looked like diapers, chasing you or running towards you, it was an even more frightening prospect than having nothing at all underneath the shirt.
Thank you very much.
It's a great pleasure. Thank you.